Hello everybody, my name is Meta_Meister, and welcome back to Stasis. Now we just left off getting mauled by turrets and figuring out how to get into the medical area. Erica Boxer.
That utter jerk! I cannot believe that guy! What kind of man dumps a girl on their anniversary? Poor Danica's in hysterics. I had to swap my shifts away on account of that dick. Sadie made that easy enough. She's such a good friend.
I can't do these voices anymore. My throat's just killing me. Sorry, guys. We were inseparable at nursing school until she decided to branch out into botany. Seems she's suited more to general medical research than patient care. That's fine, I don't mind. I prefer working with people to plants anyway. The new walkway in hydroponics is a bonus too. Some of our boys like to stretch their new limbs among the greenery. Who said new departments were of no use? This is selfish, I know, but I've had so much on my plate, I'm having to do serious overtime. And then ungrateful turds like Eric mean. I've got even more to deal with. My poor baby sister. Body of a 30-year-old woman. Mind of a 16-year-old girl. Apparently, he says being the pilot of the Osmodeus is just too much pressure on a relationship, as is that sweet little co-pilot he recently acquired. I've had it up to here with pilots. Are they ever not chasing tail? Well, tonight should be okay, as I got Danica coming around with some of the girls, and a shipment of Martin champagne. Apparently I can't talk either. The budget increase is proving to be a blessing and a curse. We've got more equipment for sure, but nowhere near enough space for it. If only the Groom Lake was one of those modular types, we might be able to get some extra room. Sadie and I are working our butts off around here. God bless Sadie. If it wasn't for her, I'd probably be an alcoholic by now. Danica is still not over her douchebag ex and calls me up for crying most nights just to talk about how she misses him. Next time I see him, I'm just going to punch his lights out. I don't worry about Danica. She's depressed and not eating, not sleeping. Oh, I worry about Danica. I was like, that doesn't make sense. I might ask Ingratia to book her in for an appointment. She needs a shrink. Work-wise, the regeneration tanks are working beautifully. But the increased demand for them means we're running short of chemical dissociation reagents. And the cell growth regeneration fluid is pretty much spent. Speaking of the fluid, it's this new stuff Dr. Malin's unit has had us using. It's technically the same as the last stuff, but I'm sure the molecular composition is different. Apparently it's 4 times as effective. It seems kind of unpredictable, actually. I've already asked Dr. Harvey to request us to switch back to the old one, which he has done twice. Why are they ignoring us? Crazy huge brawl in the mess hall today. All these guys sweating and looking like they'd OD'd or something. There's been a spike in violent assaults. I swear it has something to do with the new supplies that came in. Ever since the new regen fluid, it seems like everything is slightly off, too. I'm sure of it. Diet, medicines, genetic samples, you name it. I spoke to Sadie, and she also swears they've been tampering. The idea that we've been ingesting bad food for months scares me. I'm going to get a friend of mine to analyze the samples. Until then, I'm locking my door at night. I'm not sure who I can trust. Sadie's been giving me strange looks too. I might actually change the lock. I don't care anymore. I just don't care. I have to see Danica. I have to. She's with 2 others near the hangar, and I'm stuck here in medical. 2 rifles taken from Malin and Bird and a laser scalpel. That's all we have to get there. Sadie keeps fighting me on this and making excuses. She's starting to piss me off. Has that idiot forgotten where we are? The Groom Lake is now a freaking hunting ground, and my sister's in the middle of it. I don't care if they don't come with me. I have to see my sister. I have to know about Danica. I heard her on the radio a day or so ago. I know she's still alive. She has to be hiding. Danica's always better than me at hide and seek back home. It took hours to find her. Once Mom sent a search party for her, and she'd be hiding at the bottom of the garden, tucked inside a dirt hole where Dad was planting beets. She's hiding. She has to be. Sadie is causing me problems. If she won't come with me, I guess I'll have to make her come along, whether she wants to or not. Dear Erica, I was under the misapprehension that your request was perhaps just paranoia, but given the tests I performed on the provided samples, well, I have to be honest, its implications are frightening. I will generally concur with your initial theory that some batches were just bad, but there is clearly much more than spoilage at work. You have to understand that when batches like this are spoiled, they are spoiled, not just a few like this are spoiled, but they are all spoiled, not just a few. A fungus, for instance, will spread through samples, but there is an astonishing difference between samples you've sent me. Some seem to have been cultivated quite for the qualities they demonstrate. Did you know the brassica sample is enhanced with a genetically enhanced form of PCP? I know this because I tested the sample as one of my rats. The poor little thing lashed out violently, suffered a seizure, and then died. The precise name is DV8-5, a drug that was popular for enhancing the abilities of so-called remote viewers during the eugenics war. Laboratory-created stuff, all designer, all professional. The most alarming part is, owing to the different genetic strains seen in the 5 samples you've sent for analysis, I get the impression that these 5 contaminants were deliberately distributed to both staff and patients. I'm not sure what lunatic would do such a thing, least of all a long-haul lab ship, but I've already sent a request to my superiors at the ministry to examine the matter further. On an informal note, please look after yourself. Erica, you were always my best pupil, and I'm pleased you chose to confide in me. I do apologize that it has taken me so long to get back to you. Be careful. With fondest affection, Luke, Professor L.H. Moosegrave, University of Tampa, Florida. Uh-oh.
I think I found the crew.
Are they also bloodied up, like the guy under the floor?
You could say that. I'm not sure how many people I'm looking at, but it's like something from a eugenics war painting.
Try to push through, John. A few decks below, one step at a time.
Easy for you to say. You're kind of just talking to me through a comm. I thought that becoming the head medical tech on this deck would actually improve things, but it looks like being thrown into the lion's den. The lockdown a few months ago back was a pain, but these inventory discrepancies are the real problem. And then yesterday the system went haywire. The first thing Jessica does, of course, is call up her little sister to make sure she's okay. I suppose I can understand that. I just wish that... Well, I wish she'd ask after me sometimes too. Yesterday, during the power outage, I was locked inside a storage room for 2 hours. But Danica's fine, of course, so who cares about me? I was only trapped in a product storage room with only plant cultures and human limbs for company. I took a look at them, actually. It's part of my job, with the plants anyways. And I had to do something to keep my mind off things. Good specimens, all of them, except for samples 99D, E, and F. I couldn't for the life of me work out why samples this badly mutated were permitted anywhere near the greenhouses. These are recent, too. Dear God, what imbecile and shimping sent these to storage? Kane's hydroponics have the strictest quarantine regulations in the galaxy. Punishable by losing your damn job. It must have been that new section a few floors down. They've got all kinds of fools on the payroll. You know, I usually like to spend my time in the greenhouses, but I swear something's going funny with the new crops. Erica said I'm probably just imagining it, but I had a whole batch of Bariska growth cultures thrown out the other day, showing signs of what looked like Dutch elm disease. How is that possible? I'm going to submit a report. How am I supposed to explain to Dr. Malin and the board that we have mutant cultures in storage and perfectly good crops with extinct diseases is another matter. Erica's lost her damn mind. I'm scared of my own mind right now. She's dragged us on a fool's errand across the ship to look for Danica. I tried to tell her that I saw one of those things wearing Danica's face the other morning. Oh God, it makes me want to puke just thinking about it. It looked like a deflated balloon as it scuttled up the walls, I swear. And Greshia fired it with a bolt, but we can't be sure. He's a psychiatrist, not a soldier. Then again, are any of us soldiers? Erica seems to think we're in the Marine Corps, waving around that rifle with a crazy look in her eye, threatening to kill anyone who disagrees with her. Erica, I told her, you're a nurse. God, I barely recognize her anymore. What's happening to my best friend? What happened to that girl from Stolke, Mississippi? I don't know who Erica Boxer is anymore. Erica died this morning. My friend is gone. One of those horrific things tore her spine out of her body right in front of my eyes. I must be one of the last ones left alive. Not that I got long. I'm infected with something. I can feel it. I checked out the hydroponics lab this morning. It's a wreck. I could have told them. Anyone could have told them that trying to breed a new fungus to kill the old one would be disastrous. The rest of us won't budge. I've tried tearing it away with the laser scalpel Erica gave me, but it did nothing. Zilp. Zip, zilch, nada. What doesn't kill it really does make it stronger. I'm gonna go back to retrieve Erica's remains later. I know she died a crazy woman, but she was my friend. I still love her. To all, dear all, for those who are still able to receive this message on the... Okay, we already read this. I'm gonna read it again. Dr. Malin. First, allow me to apologize for mailing you directly, but this is a classified red emergency. I've undertaken further inspections beyond samples 99D, E, and F and found that the majority of our inventory has been compromised by tampering. There are signs that the tampering began some time ago. Some of the materials are merely spoiled, but a large quantity appears to be illegally modified. I'm not sure who the new suppliers are, but the inventory they have provided does not match the chemical manifest included. I'm aware this is a shipping concern rather than a hydroponics one, but Project Seed is based around our successful cultivation of hypernutrients plants in unusual conditions. With the current stock we possess, there is no limit to the number of illegal or mutated nutrients going into our plant growth. I advise that shipping and medical begin more thorough inspections of the received cargo. I suspect the problems could go back for months, although I have no evidence to prove this. Please recommend immediate termination of supply runs and decontamination of irrigation pipes until this is resolved. Best regards, Sadie Callister, Hydroponics Technician Level 1. Sadie, I love you very much, sweetie, but you've lost your damn mind. Those samples are restricted. What if Dr. Malin finds out you brought samples from out of the storage base? It's not only your job you'll be losing. I'll do what you ask, but only because you've never been wrong before. Though I pray to God you are this time. Love, Erica. Bloodstained environmental suits. What's... So I can see in there. So there's a person or a specimen. It's over this way. Aesthetics. Okay, so this is like a surgery area. Another PDA, extracted pot.
Her back. It's been cut open.
Of course! They must have manually removed the PDTs. That's why the security systems were reset in medical.
Oh, bodies. The bodies in the crew quarters. They were skinned. The creatures were using the PDTs to move through secure areas.
Must have realized what was going on.
So for me to get to the lower decks...
You have to remove your tag.
Remove?
Perhaps electric shock. No, that wouldn't work. John? This is the only surefire way.
What are you saying?
The surgery pod should already be programmed to remove it.
It didn't work out so well for this poor woman.
It's the only way, unless you space jump between decks.
This is surgery.
John, prep the pod.
Great. New year for the chief surgeon, and a new year for the staff of the medical deck. I have to think of a way to get it out it gets rather confusing. The staff of the medical deck now consists of 3 extra sections: cybernetics, tissue regeneration, for some reason, medical hydroponics. Yes, it may be medical, but as I told Dr. Malin, they are still plants. I don't wish to seem ungrateful. It is Kane Corporation who opened so many new doorways for me, and who refined the frontiers of medicine for us all. As a man who served his apprenticeship on the battlefields, elbow deep in the blood of innocence, to see those deserts and war-torn villages reborn as images of nirvana is a privilege, and all thanks to the sciences of Kane. And yet it's hard to understand why. On the Groom Lake, so many departments are being forced to share resources like this. I hear our budget will be up for review soon, and the chance of us getting an increase are slim. I shall try to remain positive. My goodness, a 300% budget increase? I have not yet been able to even imagine how helpful this financial windfall will be. Dr. Malin assured me that a sizable portion of this budget will be applied to Project Seed. It makes our work that much more essential. We'll order new equipment and new samples, although I don't totally agree with the ethics of Dr. Malin's acquisition of volunteers for surgery and testing. The leaps and bounds were made in our research and more make up for the rest of it. Is it wrong that we must test the limits of morality for the greater good? Not answering that question. I'm a surgeon who has seen many awful things in the blood-soaked abattoirs of the Panagian Wars, so perhaps this should be second nature to me, but I don't recall agreeing to the use of children for testing. I went to inspect the stasis pods at the request of my chief nurse and found that there were several children, some as young as 9 years old, awaiting processing. Children! I was shocked and even appalled and demanded an explanation from Dr. Malin. Edward Jenner had to test vaccines on children to see if they'd work, he said. I knew the story, what medicine does not. Jenner injected infected purulent exudates into children's arms, which must have seemed callous disregard for the child's life, and yet it saved the boy. That is how he convinced me. We are at the frontier of sciences. Chances must be taken. I do not always feel comfortable with his ethical choices, but the logic is sound. The research is too valuable for us to let a few moral qualms get in the way. I fear that my decision to become a surgeon with Kane Corporation is not quite as simple as I thought. The first casualties of the infection spreading across the ship came to my lab, where we had to set up a quarantined operating room. I had to get hands-on with the patient for the first time in years. The flow of blood, the cutting of infected tissue using my specialized tools. God forgive me, but I enjoyed it. It's impossible to explain the adrenaline rush from playing God in such a way, of having the lives of so many on the verge of death in your own hands. I felt it on the battlefields, and I feel it now. It is not the beauty of birth that moves me, it seems, but the pungent stench of death. I thought I'd enjoy the Kane Corporation. I thought I joined the Kane Corporation to save my soul, but instead it's to slake the thirst of the beast in me, whose jaws slaver at the scent of blood. I'm ashamed. How could I have seen it? These awful life forms are disguising themselves as us. They wear our skins and our PDTs, which explains how the security system cannot detect them. If I didn't already know where these creatures came from, this would perhaps be less frightening. But they've learned. The vile abominations. Abomination. What a word that is. It appears to summarize what we have created in our hubris. We have created evil. God help us all. Okay. Dr. Malin has recalibrated his guidelines for subjects in Project Seed, and specifically the requirements for any female subjects who have previously been pregnant. The female subjects should ideally have been screened, but their precise source is not important. Since the project is a 99.89% chance of non-fatal reaction in subjects, members of all staff will be eligible for this test. The ideal subject is as follows. Blood type O negative, height between 5'5" and 6 foot, free of any genetic defects, age between 18 and 40. Subjects must have recently been pregnant, ideally within the past year. We have disagreed often, but never... Sorry, this is to Dr. Malin from Dr. Al Rajikor Bar, the nurse, are responding to the nurse. We have disagreed often, but never so more than now. I'm aware that Miss Calstier doesn't work in surgery and that Chief Nurse Boxer has seniority in terms of rank. However, Calstier has one of the most extraordinary organizational minds I've ever worked with. The product storage areas are clean and well indexed. Therefore, I have to challenge your demand that I remove her from her position because of these false reports. She has been sending you about anomalies in the supplies. I have no doubt that your claims of her illicitly taking supplies is also only an accusation. She's a fine worker and reports only that what she feels is right. I'll be taking no action against her. You are in charge of the project, but you must allow me to choose the staff at my own discretion. Regards, Isaiah. So, I mean, very clearly Dr. Malin is, like, trying to cover her up because people are getting close, I guess. I'm gonna continue this episode longer than normal because I'm spending a lot of time reading these PDAs, and I'm gonna be putting skips in them. So I'm gonna, as a compensation, have the episodes run longer going forward now.
What is not properly prepared for the selected program.
This is a friendly reminder that thought crime does not entail death. This is...
Am I missing something here?
This should be useful.
Okay, let's see what we got here. Oxygen cylinder.
I don't think this will fit. I think that will just break it. These don't go well together. I don't think this will fit.
Meister surgical plot is not properly prepared for the selected program.
I think that'll just break it.
Empty stasis fluid container. Okay. Tiny ice crystals appear on the polished surface of the cryo tank. There goes.
The organic matter receptacle requires refined biological tissue.
What? Okay, so I gotta do something with it.
No. Crazy.
Okay, so you put it down there. That probably wouldn't do anything.
Maybe? No.
Not do anything. What's the gun gonna do? How does that Okay. Not arguing game. Find organic material.
I don't know what I was thinking there. I don't think this will fit. I can't see it working like that.
There you go.
Medtech surgical plot is not properly prepared for the selected program.
Oops. Still need cryo preservation tank filled.
That's just crazy. Although...
I guess every time, I don't know. Always seems like I don't just wander around for a bit. Sometimes it works out. Elizabeth Swanson. Force field's off. No? Oh, that's the medical bay. That's where I'm trying to get by taking my PDA. No, not the PDAs, the PDTs out. So, oh, it probably opened this force field then. Yep, okay, sweet. There's probably something in here I could fill my thing with. My empty stasis fluid container.
Tia, a survivor.
Uh-oh.
Someone alive?
Not exactly. He's in stasis.
It can be dangerous to wake someone from stasis without the proper procedures being followed.
So who the hell woke me?
Forget him, John. You need to think about the mission.
I don't know about that one. Although screen still looks functional, something broken within it won't work. What about this is supposed to be... It's a harbinger. It's designed as the harbinger of sadness. Occupied but functional.
Maybe if it... No, that won't work.
Torn apart door. Legs?
Another body. 2.
I'm going to go ahead and end this episode here. There's a lot more reading to come, so I'm going to go ahead and start the next episode with this. Thank you all for watching, everybody. I really hope you enjoyed the video, and I'm hoping to get through this game a little quicker now that the episodes are going to be roughly 10 minutes longer. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed it. I'll see you guys next time. Have a great day, everybody.
So I guess there's not like a lot of
going in.
Oh God! Really? Really? Really, Matt?
Like
really?
Very
a
great
flippin' cardboard spider!
Down this guy right here.
This is why I don't do horror games! This is the reason! Because I'm a coward!
So that is to somewhat be expected.